And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch it live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. We are going to take a little bit of a break with our NFL draft grades for those teams because today we've been talking, we're like 8 to 10 games left for every team. So I want to kind of predict the final games for every team here and kind of get determine who's going to be in the playoffs, what's the seeding going to be like, who's going to be in the playing tournament and all that. So that's what we're going to do on the show today. Take a little bit of a break from our draft grades and kind of just walk through the rest of the season, taking the Eastern Conference, then the Western Conference, looking at, the 76ers schedule, predicting the wins and losses for their 8 games, doing that for every team here, at least that has a chance to get in the play-in tournament. And we'll kind of predict what the final results, the final standings are going to be like at the end of the regular season. So that's what we're going to do today on the show. Still breaking down the NBA from last night, doing our moneymaker for tonight's action, and going over the stories of the day. So let's just start here. In the first one up, Davante Adams takes to Twitter, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, on Twitter yesterday at 3:11 p.m. says this, tweets this out: "Gotta appreciate what you got while you got it." Now, we obviously know the whole Aaron Rodgers fiasco that is going on, or does this mean Davante Adams? Is Davante Adams going to walk? Is Aaron Rodgers going to walk? Is this tweet directed for Aaron Rodgers, or is this about, Davante Adams himself? So, gotta appreciate what you got while you got it. That definitely fits Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's his big complaint. That's what Aaron Rodgers has been begging for. Appreciate me, respect me. I'm kind of hailed as, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and my own organization doesn't think so. I'm getting disrespected. My head coach decides to kick a field goal when we're down 8 points with 2 minutes left, and you have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time at the 8-yard line, and he decides to kick a field goal. That's disrespectful. So obviously, we still got time before, anything big has to kind of happen for the NFL season. So, Aaron Rodgers, we're still getting kind of hints and crumbs of information, and this is the newest one. Gotta appreciate what you got while you got it! Exclamation point, folks. So he's not just saying it, he's exclaiming it. So we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers, but Davante Adams is like, hey, I see the disrespect here with Aaron Rodgers. It's not him just bugging. I see it too, but there's only so much I can say. I'm the wide receiver. They don't really, they don't even trust the quarterback. You think they're going to come with me? They're going to come to me with their information or anything like that? So that's where we're at with the Aaron Rodgers saga. Davante Adams, wide receiver for the Packers, tweeting out, "Gotta appreciate what you got while you got it." So we'll see what that means come whenever something happens. But this crossed my page the other day, and it's pretty interesting here. So the tweet from the Volume Sports Network: "Would acquiring Julio Jones be enough to keep Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay?" We know Aaron Rodgers wants to be respected. He wants that A1, Tier 1, Hall of Fame wide receiver, and that's definitely Julio Jones. The Packers and the Falcons, they're not in the same division, so yeah, you can trade him. You wouldn't, the Falcons wouldn't mind trading. Definitely the Falcons don't want to see Julio Jones 2 times a year if they're going to trade him away. So, in different divisions, Aaron Rodgers wants the big weapon. Julio Jones, come, June 1st? That's when they can kind of save a lot of money if they get rid of him. So maybe Matt LaFleur trying to kind of, tide everything over. We see Aaron Rodgers, all the rumors that we've heard, we haven't really heard it straight from the horse's mouth, but all the kind of rumors that we've heard is that Aaron Rodgers kind of adamant, kind of taking the same position that Deshaun Watson was taking before all the sexual assault allegations came out. Like, hey, I'm not coming back to the team. I'm not playing for y'all anymore. I will retire. I do not care. I will go host Jeopardy. I've got other options. I'm sick of being disrespected. I'm sick of my legacy going down because you guys are giving me no great talent to work with. So if, the Packers organization really kind of feels that Aaron Rodgers is not going to play this season, maybe they kind of, dangle a little bit of a carrot in front of Aaron Rodgers, be like, Aaron, come here. I got this carrot, got this nice wide receiver, Hall of Famer right here, Julio Jones. You like it? Come on, Aaron, right here. Come on, look. Not Jeopardy. No. Over here. Come on. Carrot, Julio Jones, Super Bowl title. You want to win the Super Bowl? I got Julio Jones. I got Julio Jones. Come on, Aaron. One more year. So we'll see, A, if Julio Jones goes anywhere, and B, if, this entire Aaron Rodgers, because we do have to kind of take the information that we've gotten with this Aaron Rodgers news with a grain of salt. Because the timing of it, all this kind of coming out on draft day, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers truly isn't going to play with the Packers this season, or kind of has that mindset already of, hey, I'm not going to play for the Packers. We're kind of, thinking that, stunt a little bit was probably put out by Aaron Rodgers to force their hand to take a wide receiver in the first round. Obviously, it didn't work out, so we'll see what happens here with Julio Jones and Aaron Rodgers. But man, oh man, Julio Jones, I mean, that would be what Aaron Rodgers wants, A1 Tier 1 Hall of Fame wide receiver. So smooth some things over. There's options here for the Packers if Aaron Rodgers is truly unhappy. And then we get this right here. This story was kind of funny to talk about, so we'll talk about it. So Aaron Rodgers, probably another kind of hidden reason why he's just so frustrated and fed up with this kind of Packers organization, because Aaron Rodgers publicly kind of endorsed and praised this wide receiver that nobody's ever heard of. He's not even a starter. He's barely playing. But the wide receiver, Jake Kumaro, Aaron Rodgers went out and publicly kind of endorsed this man, saying, like, hey, this man's good. I like this man. I want to work with this man. And then the very next day, the Packers organization gets rid of him. So you got somebody that Aaron Rodgers wants and likes, and then the next day, the management gets rid of him. So was that did that start the fire? Was that the one that finally broke Aaron Rodgers' back? So we've seen kind of every single season something coming out of Aaron Rodgers, not to his liking, that kind of once again pushes this narrative of Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay. I mean, folks, this is not the first time we've been talking about this, folks. We've been talking about this for the last couple of seasons here. So we don't know what actually has started this kind of Aaron Rodgers definitely kind of doubling down and saying he doesn't want to be here with the Packers anymore. But, the organization of the Packers definitely haven't really done anything to kind of they haven't done anything to kind of seem like that isn't the case. Like all the things that we're hearing from Aaron Rodgers' side, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, they're not getting me the weapons. They're going for field goals when you got one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time down to the red zone. We can't get it done in the NFC Championship game. You'd rather draft my replacement than get me any more help. So we all understand Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has a right to be disappointed with this franchise. They really have not done anything to help him. And then this is just the latest of it. Jake Camaro getting let go by the Packers when Aaron Rodgers endorsed them. So we'll see what happens here, but that's where we are at currently in the Aaron Rodgers saga. Davante Adams tweet, Julio Jones still on the market. So let's see what happens here as we get a little bit closer to kind of, training camps and all this, where the picture becomes a little bit clear of who's going to be the actual starters, and not just for the Packers, but just for every team. But let's wait a little bit, see if anything else more comes out on this Aaron Rodgers story. Alrighty, let's move off of the topic of Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay for right now. But we saw in the draft, if you were kind of watching on our live draft show, we saw Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, keep falling in the draft, folks, and we have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, our number 1 ranked linebacker on our big board, but we saw him drop and other players getting taken over him, and then he finally gets drafted number 52, so now we know why he fell in the draft. So here we go from Adam Schefter. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah had a heart issue that came up late in the process and was a concern for most teams, which is why he fell out of the first round, and to pick number 52 52 with the Cleveland Browns. Doctors ultimately cleared Owusu-Koramoah, but it did contribute to him falling. So that's why he fell in the draft. A little bit of a heart issue. Shouldn't be too concerning because he did get cleared by a doctor, so that's still good. So a little bit of a steal here for Cleveland and a little bit of extra motivation for Owusu-Koramoah to kind of prove, hey, I know y'all saw the heart issue, but I told y'all it was no big deal. The doctor said it was no big deal, and now I'm out here with the Browns elevating this kind of defense to a championship level defense, and that's what the Browns are going to try and do this season to try to be that team coming out of the AFC this season. So let's see if Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah can get it done this season with the Browns and make all the doubters pay the price of not taking this man a little earlier. All right, but it's not all good here. It's not all good here for the draft prospects because here we go. Titans' fourth round pick, Rashad Weaver, charged with assault in April incident. Yikes. So let's see this article. Let's see how bad this assault was. So here we go. Tennessee Titans fourth round pick Rashad Weaver was charged Friday with one count of simple assault. Oh, simple assault. Oh, it's just simple assault. One shove, little shove. It's simple assault. It's not no right hook. It's no Aaron Donald accused crimes of literally making that man's eyes swell. Now that's complicated assault, not simple assault. Here we go. According to the criminal complaint against Weaver, 23, Pittsburgh police found a woman lying on the ground surrounded by a group of people at the intersection of South 17th Street and East Carson Street at 2:28 a.m. on April 18th. Alrighty, woman unconscious, or laying on the ground. She's not unconscious, or we don't know. They don't say that. All right. Witnesses at the scene said that a large male, that gave it away. He's a large male. He's a professional athlete, large male, identified as Weaver, later punched the woman, Demetria Navgilis. Weaver was not at the scene when police arrived. That man dipped. He punched and ran. Simple assaulted and ran, this man did. 5 minutes before the incident, police said there was an argument between Weaver and Navgelis at a nearby bar. Our officers separated the two and identified Weaver. Weaver told the officers before leaving the bar that he had no problem hitting a female if they needed it. Per the complaint. Oh, Jesus. I got no problem hitting a female. And then 5 minutes later, she's on the ground. So, alrighty. Weaver, I mean, it's kind of sounded like it's him. He fled the scene. Not very good there. Police contacted Navgilis on April 25th per the complaint. She told officers that she went to Ohio Valley Hospital on April 22nd because she was vomiting. What? Navgilis was diagnosed with a concussion at the hospital and got proof that she was pregnant at the time of the incident. Oh no! Oh no! Not only did this mammoth of a man of a professional athlete hit a woman, he hit a pregnant woman. Y'all are calling this simple assault? Okay, I don't know about this. A preliminary hearing in Weaver's case is scheduled for October 5th. Weaver's attorney, Dennis M. Blackwell, said in his statement, "The allegations against my client are completely false and reckless." Completely false and reckless. We've got officers witnessing this, breaking them up 5 minutes before the altercation took place. The officer said that this man said he has no problem hitting a female if they needed it. He's guilty. He's guilty. And I don't want to I don't like to do this. I don't like calling people out guilty before any verdict or or before all the information has come out. But folks, what are we talking about here? He's completely false. These allegations are completely false and reckless. I understand this is what a lawyer's supposed to do, defend the client, but geez Louise, I wouldn't go completely false. In my statement, if I knew he was guilty, I'd be like, yeah, these are false. These allegations are false. I wouldn't go completely false and then go reckless, doubling down on it. But let's continue here. Mr. Weaver takes these charges very seriously, and we look forward to clearing his good name without question and without hesitation. We deny Rashad punched anyone, especially a woman, especially a pregnant woman. We intend to conduct a full investigation of these charges and intend to pursue all legal remedies available to Rashad. The Titans said in a statement, quote, "We were made aware of the news this morning. We obviously take this seriously and are in the process of gathering details and working with the league." Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Aaron Donald, he came out innocent. That was just, wrong accusation there. But this one, seeing a little bit more ironclad case. Man, oh man, hitting a pregnant woman. Then she went to the hospital, vomiting, and she has a concussion. Yeah, so not the greatest here for a rookie. People get drafted and then they all go wild because they think they're invincible. But we'll see what happens with this case. But I don't think he's going to get kind of freed here like Aaron Donald did. But we'll see if any new information or evidence comes out. Alrighty, let's move on here. Alright, a little bit of a quote here from Kyle Shanahan, and I'm not sure, so let's talk about it. Here we go. Kyle Shanahan says, if 49ers hadn't traded up to number 3 to take Trey Lance, quote, somebody else was going to eventually, and the price is only going to go up. Alrighty, were there that many teams wanting to get a quarterback this year? When we go back to kind of the draft here, we obviously don't know Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. We're going to take a quarterback 1 and 2, no problem. Obviously not taking Trey Lance, who the 49ers like, so there was no real reason to trade up to number 3 at this point. The Dolphins would have still been at number 3. They don't take a quarterback. The Falcons at 4, they don't take a quarterback. The Bengals at 5, they're not taking a quarterback. Philadelphia at number 6. We're just kind of saying before all these trades took place, folks. Philadelphia at number 6, they're not taking a quarterback. Now, the Lions at number 7 could have taken a quarterback. We're really not clear if they're truly set on Jared Goff or not. So that may have potentially been another team that takes a quarterback here. But, we know that the 49ers were big on Mac Jones and Trey Lance, a little bit more on Trey Lance than Mac Jones. That's why they took him overall. But let's just say that the Lions don't take somebody at number 7. The Panthers don't take a quarterback at number 8 because they brought in Sam Darnold. At number 9 with the Broncos. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky just because, Broncos picking at number 9, yeah, they got Teddy Bridgewater the day before the draft, but would they have done that? Would they have maybe kind of gotten a quarterback if the 49ers didn't trade up to number 3? I mean, the 49ers were picking originally at number 12, so let's just say for all, intents and purposes here, everything was the same. The regular draft order was the same. But we have potentially the Broncos and the Lions taking a quarterback here. Dallas picking at number 10, Bears picking at number 11, and they would not take a quarterback. So then, come number 12, that's when the 49ers, that's where their original pick would have came from. So they would have had to, take a little bit of a risk that either the Lions or the Broncos don't take one of the quarterbacks that they like. So I don't really know if this was completely necessary here for the 49ers to move up a little bit. But let's see if we get any more quotes here by Kyle Shanahan to clear it up a little bit. Alrighty, some viewed the price general manager John Lynch and coach Kyle Shanahan paid as a curve-breaking amount. Shanahan, however, told the Rich Eisen show on Monday that he believes if the Niners hadn't leapt up the board when they did early in the process, somebody would have, and the cost might have been even higher. Quote, I actually believe that if we wouldn't have, somebody else was going to eventually, and the price is only going to go up, Shanahan said. That was a decision that we all had to make. Me, John, Jed, and once we did, we never really looked back, and what changed was, I think, the feeling of when you go through that stuff. Quote, to feel the way that I did, especially about Alabama quarterback Mac Jones, and then about Trey Lance, and where we were at that, and what happened with Matt Stafford and Deshaun Watson. We knew early that, hey, we need to be aggressive so that we get one. And where was the spot? Shanahan said, we looked into all the others. We looked into the 4th pick. We looked into the 5th pick. And the 3rd one was the one that had the most chance to move a month in advance. Alrighty, so he saw the pressure of Matt Stafford, going to a new team, getting traded, Deshaun Watson, him possibly getting traded as well. And the 49ers are like, hey, we need to go out and get a quarterback here to be competitive with all these other teams getting good quarterbacks. So I guess, if I've got no problem with the trade up. That's fine. Do what you think is best for your squad. Absolutely. You need a quarterback in this league. But, is Trey Lance, is selling out your future for the next 2 seasons with those first round picks gone, is that better than what you had in Jimmy Garoppolo? That's where I really don't know for truly sure yet. So Kyle Shanahan trades up. At the end of the day, if they were still at number 12, would they have gotten a quarterback? It would have been tough. We still know the Patriots picking at 15. They ended up getting Mac Jones, but the indecisiveness of the Broncos with their quarterback, the indecisiveness of the Lions with their quarterback really just kind of forced their hand to go up and make the trade. So we'll see. This is going to be the year. We'll see year one if this kind of trade pans out for the 49ers, if Trey Lance is looking good. But only time will tell if the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan made a good move, and we'll be keeping an eye on it as these seasons progress. Alrighty, next story up. Here we go. Greg Roman of the Ravens says the Ravens' new wide receivers, quote, expand our profile quite a bit in the passing game. Yes, I would hope so. Definitely. You got a nice kind of 6-foot wide receiver in Rashad Bateman going deep. You picked up Sammy Watkins in the offseason for that kind of deep ball. Absolutely. So here we go. Any good quotes here by Greg Roman? Roman believes the addition this offseason will open up the passing offense for Lamar Jackson. Quote, I don't want to call it an embarrassment of riches. Yeah, I wouldn't call it that either. I would not call Sammy Watkins, Marquise Brown, and this rookie quarterback an embarrassment of riches. Yes, I would truly not say that. So we agree there. But when you talk about Hollywood and Devin and Miles, I really feel good about the guys we have. This offense is really one that runs through Lamar. Yes, we know that 1,000%. We're always going to do what gives us the best chance to win. When you add talent like that, it's really going to expand our profile quite a bit, actually, to play with that kind of balance that we really want to play with. I really think it will probably take some pressure off the guys that have been here, like Marquise, free him up a bit as well. The field's about 53 yards wide, and I think we are going to have to defend. I think people are going to have to defend all 53 yards of it, and that's exactly it right there. That's the point. We know this kind of just a base offense is kind of the read option in the run game with Lamar Jackson and Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. Unfortunately, no more Mark Ingram, but those two can still pick up the slack. We're not worried about it. So yes, you got to defend the run game. You've got to defend the passing game, kind of in the flats. You got Marquise Hollywood Brown, a smaller wide receiver, but a speedy wide receiver. So you're gonna have to guard, the flats and the inside crossing routes. So you've got the running game, the short kind of 3 yards at the line of scrimmage. You've got the flat game with Marquise Hollywood Brown and the speed at that. You've got Sammy Watkins, a nice kind of deeper threat wide receiver. So you got to defend the deep ball, the flats, the running game, and then their new wide receiver that they just brought in this year in the draft. It's Rashad Bateman, correct? Let me make sure I'm getting that name right. Yeah, Rashad Bateman. That's what I thought. All right, so Rashad Bateman, another kind of 6-foot tall wide receiver. So once again, having to go out and defend kind of two good wide receivers. Sammy Watkins, going deep. Maybe kind of, Rashad Bateman going 10 yards deep. So you've got, the 15-plus yard ball with Sammy Watkins. You got to defend that, the length of the field that way. The medium ball of Rashad Bateman, the flats and the slants in the middle of the field and the outside field of Hollywood Brown. And then, the run game and then the play action game, then Lamar Jackson keeping it. So, yes, absolutely. They've got kind of playmakers in position that makes it great to really have to defend every inch of grass here. So we'll see how the Ravens all put it together. It's going to be interesting. Can they finally get it done? Can the Ravens finally take that next step and kind of compete with the Chiefs of just an explosive offense, game in, game out, getting it done deep in the playoffs, getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl? So that's what the Ravens have to kind of live up to expectation-wise offensively, and we'll see if they can do it with this kind of Greg Roman improved new offense here for the Ravens. Alrighty, talking about new offenses and kind of taking the next step here. Giants general manager Dave Gettleman says quarterback Daniel Jones should really make a major stride in year 3. Alrighty, Daniel Jones, we're big on him. We are believers in Danny Jones over here, Danny boy, if you will. But let's see if we can get any nice quotes here from Dave Gettleman. Here we go. All right, obviously this will be a big jump, Gettleman said. This is the year, year 2 to year 3, that Daniel should really make a major stride. We're looking forward to seeing him thrive. Yes, I am kind of expecting that as well. And if we're looking at kind of, quarterbacks that took that giant leap from year 2 to year 3 and what you can kind of do in this kind of current age of the NFL, making the stride from year 2 to year 3. Well, I mean, we've got the perfect example in Josh Mother-loving Allen, who took the biggest jump from year 2 to year 3. Years 1 and 2 for Josh Allen in Buffalo. Year 1, 52% completion percentage, 2,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 12 picks. Everything about that stat line I just said is absolutely garbage. Then year 2, 58% completion percentage, 300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Still pretty not great in the yards and the completion percentage, but getting better. And then year 3, the greatest year I think I have ever seen of a not great quarterback his first 2 years, and then absolutely great year 3, 69% completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Everything I just said on that stat line is absolutely magnificent, folks. This is almost flawless. I would almost call this flawless, folks. A flawless stat line. Maybe if we cut those interceptions down from 10 to 9 just to get that single digit, then we would have been able to call this a flawless stat line. But overall, a fantastic year 3. So let's look at Daniel Jones's first 2 years here. Alrighty, year 1, 61% completion percentage, already better than what Josh Allen did his first year. 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. This is a pretty good stat line right here. The 2-to-1 touchdown and interception ratio, basically 62% completion percentage. We like 62 to 65 range. 3,000 yards, pretty dang good for your first season in only 12 games starting. And then year 2 took a slight step back, not in completion percentage. The completion percentage went up to 62%, 2,900 yards, little less yards, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Those touchdowns came down a lot, but we have to remember, no Saquon Barkley, so they had no running game, so they're just pressuring the offense passing game on Daniel Jones and those wide receivers. So Daniel Jones, I mean, if Josh Allen can make it work with 52 and 58% completion percentage, I mean, Daniel Jones already has a leg up on being a surefire passer here. 61%, 62%, getting better, getting more accurate every single year. And Josh Allen just said, I'm a mother-loving dual threat quarterback, because just this season he ran for 423 yards. Another kind of advantage in Daniel Jones' all-around game, making him a decent dual threat out here. He's 6'5", has the same frame as kind of Josh Allen, not as big as Josh Allen. Josh Allen 6'5", 240, and Daniel Jones is about 6'5", 220. So not as beefy as Josh Allen, but still as big, and he's got the arm as big as Josh Allen does. So we're not worried about Daniel Jones taking this next step. We know it's possible to have this great leap, a big step. We're expecting it from Daniel Jones. David Gettleman is expecting it from Daniel Jones, so that's all right there. Let's see if we get any more quotes here before we move off of this. Coach Joe Judge said on ESPN Radio Monday that one reason for Jones' struggle in 2020 was the hamstring injury that caused the quarterback to miss 2 games and could have knocked him out much longer. Quote here from the coach, Joe Judge, quote, "Look, Daniel is the last guy that's going to use anything as an excuse. What I would say about the injury last year is that it was much more serious than maybe people thought on the outside. I would probably say 90% of the players in the league who would have had that injury, including quarterbacks, would have been on IR for the remainder of the year. That's just the reality of it. So Joe Judge is like, this man's a mother freaking monster out here. You think a little injury is going to keep this man sidelined? No. He's trying to get back out on that field as quickly as possible. So we love that from Daniel Jones, the leadership, wanting to be out on the field, playing through the injuries. That's why we saw a little bit of a dip in the touchdowns a little bit, because he was playing through this injury, and once again, having no running game, they're all just going to be pressing up. That's kind of what Teddy Bridgewater faced a little bit with no Christian McCaffrey this year. You've got Mike Davis in the backfield. Yeah, these corners, they're not going to give any room. They're just going to be pressing at the line of scrimmage because, we're only worried about the passing game. All right, let's finish up this quote here. Quote, it was much more severe than maybe he allowed people to know, or the information that was put out there, and we're going to protect our players by not disclosing everything about their injuries. To be honest with you, he fought through a lot of things. He earned a lot of people's respect, so that's fantastic. He's got the respect of the locker room, the coaches, everybody in the Giants organization. He's making strides to get better. He's durable. He's wanting to be out on the field. So yeah, we're real excited for Daniel Jones right here, folks. Like we said, we are believers in him. We know we can make this next step. Josh Allen just proved you can make the year 3 leap. Daniel Jones is playing into year 3. So let's get it done, baby. Saquon Barkley's good. They've got a slew of freaking talent offensively to go get it done. You got Evan Ingram, Kenny Golladay. You just drafted a wide receiver. You got Saquon Barkley back. So let's go get it done offensively this season. And if it wasn't for Washington in the same division, I'm rooting 1,000% here for the Giants to be the first in the NFC East. So we'll see if Daniel Jones can take that year 3 leap. I think he really can, folks, truly. Alrighty, let's go to this real quickly. I just want to talk about this because we have to change it a little bit because I don't like the low stakes that they had on. So here we go. Tom Brady, he was kind of asked, he was interviewed, if he would give up 2 rings for that perfect undefeated season in 2007 when, they were, 17-0, 18-0, 18-0 going to 19-0 in the Super Bowl. Was that the case? Anyway, undefeated season through the regular seasons and the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, but Eli Manning says, you got to pass through us and the Giants, baby, if you want this perfect season and we not losing. So you got to lose. One of us got to lose and we ain't losing. So who going to be the loser? You. So Tom Brady says that he would trade 2 rings to beat the Giants and go undefeated. But of course he would trade 2 rings. He's got 7. You got to make the stakes a little bit higher if you're going to play this hypothetical game. Would you trade 7 rings? Would you trade all of your Super Bowl rings for that one undefeated season with the rings? So you trade in your 7 rings, you get the undefeated season, you also get that 1 ring from that undefeated Super Bowl, but that is it. No going to Tampa Bay, winning your first year, no more rings with Bill Belichick for the rest of your career. Would you trade 7 rings for that undefeated season? That's what we want to know. No, not 2 rings. 2 rings. Tom Brady would throw off 2 rings of his hand and give it to a homeless person. He doesn't care. 2 rings. I've got 5 more. I've got 7 in total. You think I care about 2 gosh dang rings? I've got 5 more waiting at home. I've got an entire handful of rings waiting at home. Here's 2. You want 3? I'll give you 3. Flicks it in your face and walks away. So I don't care if Tom Brady would trade 2 rings. I want to know, are you trading 7? 7! Let me know, Tom. You trading 7? That's the real answer we want to know. Will Tom Brady trade 7 rings for that undefeated season? That I don't think he does. I think the most Tom Brady would give up for this kind of undefeated season, I think it would probably go 4. Still have 3 rings as a starting quarterback in this league, still competing with the greatest of all time. So that's the real question. I don't know who threw this softball lob question to Tom Brady. Can we be done throwing lob softball questions at Tom Brady, please? He's the greatest to ever do it. Let's start getting down to the nitty gritty on these questions. Tom Brady, would you trade all of your rings to beat Eli Manning once and go undefeated? That's the question. Who are these people asking these garbage questions? I don't want to say garbage question, soft question. Let's phrase it as that, but oh man, we could have gotten a real answer here, folks. We could have gotten a real nice, interesting answer from Tom, but they have to say only 2 rings. What is that about? What is that about? Now, if you're asking Aaron Rodgers, he's only got the 1 ring, so you can't even ask him that. You know what I mean? Man, this man's got 7, so a little unfortunate there. Alrighty, here we go. This is the time we're starting to see kind of these veteran players starting to get signed because teams didn't get exactly what they wanted in the draft. Here we go. The Ravens are signing Alejandro Villanueva from the Steelers, an offensive tackle, to a 2-year deal, $14 million. So the Ravens kind of beefing up their line. We saw them trade Orlando Brown before the draft to the Chiefs, getting that extra draft pick, then going out and not really kind of drafting a lineman until the 3rd round. Is that what we said the other day? When was their first offensive lineman taken in this year's draft? Yeah, they didn't go till the 3rd round. They didn't use that first round pick that they got from the Chiefs on an offensive lineman like we thought they would. So they kind of, got one in the 3rd round, shoring it up through, just kind of free agency still after the draft. So once again, start to look for some of these veteran kind of aging out of the league players a little bit, like Richard Sherman. This is going to be the week Richard Sherman goes somewhere, folks. I would say by the end of this week, Richard Sherman will have found a team. Now that we're starting to see the Baltimore Ravens go after offensive line talent, we'll start to see other teams kind of shore up their team, fixing those gaps, fixing those pieces that they thought they could upgrade in the draft. Unfortunately, the draft didn't play out the way they thought, so they have to go find the talent elsewhere. So Ravens just started it, and we'll see who keeps it going. But to expect Richard Sherman, if he's going to play this year, if he's not officially done in this league, I don't know. I don't think he's officially done in this league. I still think he can kind of make teams better, at least in a veteran presence, at least. So we'll see what happens here. Does he go to the Jets? If Robert Saleh doesn't take him, that's a big red flag on Richard Sherman, one that we'll have to try to keep in mind for the season if he does end up going somewhere. So we'll see what happens. But Alejandro Villanueva going to the Ravens, kind of enemies, still in the from the Steelers to the Ravens, still in the same division. Alrighty, let's head over to some NBA stories from last night. So here we go. If you were watching the main game on ESPN, the Pelicans and the Warriors last night on ESPN, they were also simulcasting it on ESPN2, where they were doing this like Marvel thing where they had like 3 players from each team just like tracking their stats. They got like a point for all the good things and minus a point for all the bad things, and then whoever had the most point out of those 6 players, 3 on each team, was the Arena of Heroes champion. And look, if you want to try and draw new fans in, younger fans, I get it. That's fine. I'm not knocking it. Get that money, get that revenue, absolutely. It's not for me. I'm not watching it. I did not watch the ESPN2 simulcast where they were, going big on Marvel and the Super. I don't need that. I like the sport. I like to talk about the sport myself. I don't need to kind of compare it to and have, 2 universes collide of the NBA and Marvel. I don't need that, but if that's entertaining to y'all, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But the story is that Draymond Green ended up winning it. He had they were giving you like a point for every point, or for every basket you made, -1 point for all the shots you missed, a point for every assist, a point for every block, a point for every steal, a -1 point for every turnover, like a simple scoring system like that. And Draymond Green came out of the top. It was between like Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins for the Warriors, Zion, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball for the Pelicans. And Draymond Green ends up winning it. Now, they did this right. The NBA did do it right, better than what the NFL did. Remember that Nickelodeon MVP, Mitch Trubisky in the playoffs won the MVP but lost the game. Real bizarre, and we clowned Mitch Trubisky for that. And how funny, that's the last award Mitch Trubisky will ever win in the NFL is the MVP. But they did it right this time. They gave you 10 points for the winning team to try to make sure that a player on the losing team did not win it. So I give the NBA and Marvel and whoever was involved in this props for that, so we don't get, Zion Williamson when they lost this game, the MVP or the Arena of Heroes champion. But it's Draymond Green. We're big fans of him here, so shout out to Draymond Green for winning it. But it's just something to talk about, I guess. I don't know. I truly don't even get why they did it. But, well, I know why they did it, to bring in a new audience. I get it, but we'll see if it worked. I don't think it worked, but we'll see. We'll see if it worked. Alrighty, and then maybe some good news here in the NBA. Victor Oladipo tweets out at 12:06 a.m. Yesterday night, last night, this morning. There it is, this morning, 12:06 a.m. Here we go. Victor Oladipo tweets out, "More life!" ! God is good! I'm just getting started! ! Hashtag blessed beyond measure! ! So is Victor Oladipo getting cleared to finally come back and play for the Heat? Hopefully, because they definitely need to run a little bit more on the floor with Victor Oladipo with the starters, get this chemistry worked out, because even with Victor Oladipo, when he was healthy on the floor with the starters, they weren't winning games. It's not like they were unstoppable, unbeatable. They were losing a lot of the games where Victor Oladipo and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo were all playing together. So they need to kind of take these last 8 games that every team has, try to kind of make sure their starting roster is going to work. They're all kind of in the same rhythm together. Still build that chemistry that's going to be needed to make a long playoff run here. So hopefully Victor Oladipo can come back soon. Hopefully this is what the tweet means. So we'll see what happens with the next Heat game. But hopefully Victor Oladipo is out on the floor. Alrighty. A quote here by Scott. A quote here by Scott Brooks of the Thunder says that he thinks Russell Westbrook can probably go down as the second best point guard of all time. Now, I love Russell Westbrook. Don't get me wrong. Folks, we praise his kind of, motor to go 1,000% every single game. We praise that a ton on the show. This is what we love. I wish every single athlete did this. So yes, we definitely praise Russell Westbrook, but to say that he's probably going to go down as the second best point guard of all time, obviously can't be number one because of Magic Johnson on just what his accomplishments in the league right from the get-go, getting it done. I mean, there's really no other point guard that really is going to be able to try and dethrone what Magic Johnson did. So to call Russell Westbrook kind of, the best point guard outside of, the greatest of all time and Magic Johnson, we've got Chris Paul, come on. We've got Steph Curry, come on. I don't want to knock Russell Westbrook for not winning, but I've got to knock him for not winning. Yes, his game is truly impressive. Yes, his triple-doubles every single game, every single season. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but his triple-doubles every single time he steps on the floor, yes, it's so impressive and it's so great, but it doesn't translate to wins, folks. We wouldn't even be talking about Russell Westbrook really this much as we are this season if it was not for the play-in tournament, folks. You think I care about a 10th seed here? The only reason we care about the 10th seed is because they expanded the playoffs to include the play-in tournament for the 9th and 10th seed. So yes, we love Russell Westbrook, but to call him the second best point guard of all time, come on, you've got to win, folks. You have to win. That's the only goal of sports, is to win. Yes, your stats are good. Yes, not everybody's going to win in this league or any league. I get it, but you need to prove that you can at least win once. You've got to have the stats to back it up. He's got the stats, but we've got to see you winning. That's why we can't really have Chris Paul as the second best point guard of all time either, because he hasn't won. Yes, his career is great. Yes, kind of Chris Paul attributes to more winning by his own performance than Russell Westbrook does by his own performance, but we've got to see you win at least once or try to get to the finals or do something like that. And I think Russell Westbrook has gotten to the finals once with that Thunder. I think they ended up meeting LeBron in the finals one year with that Kevin Durant. Did they get it, or was it just the Western Conference Finals? But either way, he never won the ring. We've got to see you winning. You've got to win once. That's why we're really rooting for Chris Paul this season to go out and claim that number one seed in the West, have home court advantage, so it makes it easier for Chris Paul to win a ring, because we've got to see Chris Paul. He's a great point guard, folks. We've got to see him at least get a ring so we can continue to talk about Chris Paul 15, 20 years down the line when all this new talent emerges and other players start to win, and we've got to still kind of, be able to talk about Chris Paul, but he's got to win. So, yes, we love Russell Westbrook, and we really try not to clown him on the show at all just because of how great he is. But we've got to see you win. That's our one knock on Kyrie Irving. He thinks he's better than he is. He thinks he's kind of a number one option on a team, but he's not. He's a fantastic number two. He can play. He can ball. Nobody's saying he can't ball, but he hasn't won by himself. Can he win by himself? We've never really seen that. I'm not talking about winning titles by himself. I'm just talking about winning by yourself. Can you get into the playoffs? Can you win a playoff series by yourself? We haven't seen that from him, but we need to see Russell Westbrook win first. Kyrie Irving hit a big shot in the finals. Russell Westbrook hasn't. So, we've got to see you win. Win. You got to win, folks. You've got to win. Can't call Russell Westbrook the second best point guard of all time if he has not won. But then we get this, folks. He's going to be averaging another triple-double this season. Russell Westbrook will average a triple-double in a season for the fourth time in his career. He can record 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists in every game the rest of the season and still average a triple-double. Absolutely fantastic. Putting this kind of Washington team on his back. Besides him and Bradley Beal, this team is absolutely not good at all. They've got no... Alex Len is their big, folks. Alex Len, come on. So they've got no real great team over there in Washington, but Russell Westbrook is literally doing everything in his power every single game to will them to some wins. And, to his credit, they've got the 10th seed. They're playing to the rules here. Hey, we can be the 10th seed and still win the championship. So what's the deal? What's the big deal? Start talking about us a little bit more. So shout out to the Wizards. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. Absolutely great. But a little much on the second best point guard of all time, in my opinion, at least for now, of not having a ring. Alrighty, those were all the stories we needed to cover for today, so let's head over to the NBA from last night. We'll break down the games, do our moneymaker for tonight's action, and then we'll start kind of talking about the remainder of the season for all these teams and kind of get our final placement of how we see the rankings, the standings, officially being at the end of the season. We'll see what's the first round matchups, who's in the play-in tournament, and we'll talk about it. But let's start here with the NBA from last night, and the first game to talk about is a bad one, but we got to talk about it a little bit. Magic and the Pistons, two garbage teams, like we said. No Jeremy Grant still for the Pistons, so of course we don't expect them to win. A little close game here, 119-112 win for the Magic. Anybody do good on the Magic? Their bench really got it done. Nothing great from the starters. Nobody scored more than 11 points on the starters. Gary Harris put up 11 points, and Wendell Carter Jr. at the 5 put up 11 points. So I guess that's good. Y'all won. Congrats. But against the Pistons, nothing great. But look at this bench of Ignas Brazdeikis. 14 points off the bench. RJ Hampton, 16 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds off the bench. Mo Bamba, 22 points, 15 rebounds off the bench. Chasen Randall, 16 points, 5 rebounds off the bench, just getting it done. So shout out to the bench. For the Pistons, Sadiq Bey had a great game, 26 points, 9 rebounds on 5 of 10 from 3. We'll take that. Unfortunately, just not enough, and nobody else stepped up to kind of help him out a little bit. Hamidou Diallo put up 16 points, 7 rebounds. Frank Jackson off the bench put up 19 points. We'll take that. But just nothing great between these two teams. Both eliminated from the playoffs. No chance of really kind of doing anything, getting into the play-in tournament. No way, no how. So they're the worst two teams in the Eastern Conference, folks. I don't know what you want. 2 bad teams still being bad, and 1 bad team wins. That's the game from last night. Alrighty, but a little bit of a better game here. The Wizards and the Pacers, the 9th seed versus the 10th seed, and the Wizards get the job done. One of our moneymaker picks from last night, it was Wizards minus 3.5. Minus 3.5? What do we got? Wizards minus 3.5, yeah. And it hits perfectly. They win 154-141. What an offensive explosion here by the Wizards. So let's talk about that. Russell Westbrook only put up 14 points as well. How fantastic. But look at the stat line, folks. Truly look at this mother 11 stat line. 14 points, 24 assists, 21 rebounds. And he had 6 turnovers. We can absolutely, that's fine. Have 6 turnovers if you're having 20 assists, 20 rebounds. How wild. And he only took 8 shots, so just facilitating the floor, getting it done. Then we get Raul Neto, 9 points, 8 assists. Alex Len, 12 points, 2 rebounds. Folks, do you understand what I'm saying? When this Wizards team puts up, 150 points, Raul Neto's only putting up 9, and Alex Len's putting up 12. We cannot trust these players as really any meaningful production here on this team. But these are the players that went off. Rui Hachimura, 27 points, 7 rebounds. He shot 63%. Fantastic. Bradley Beal put up 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. And then this bench. Oh, my goodness. And let me tell you something, folks. If this Wizards bench can continue to play like they have been these last 5 games, I mean, we got to give credit up for this Wizards bench. What are they in their last 10? 8-2 in their last 10, and a lot of, obviously, Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal deserve most of the credit, absolutely. But we're talking about this Mother 11 bench, folks, and they have been getting it done. Everybody's scoring here off the bench. Robin Lopez in 15 minutes, 11 points on 71% shooting. Ish Smith, 17 minutes off the bench, 13 points on 75% shooting. Davis Bertans, 14 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds off the bench. Yes, sir, 4 of 11 from 3. Chandler Hutchinson, 16 minutes off the bench, 13 points, 3 assists, 3 steals. Daniel Gafford, 15 minutes off the bench, 15 points on 100% shooting. Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players off the bench, all scoring 10 or more points. Exactly what we need. This Wizards team is getting right at the right time. That's why we love this playing tournament so much. That's why we love this Wizards team so much. They're winning at the end of the season. So much credit for this team. Shout out Wizards team, folks, truly. And let's see what they can do in this playing tournament. Maybe cause a little bit of ruckus in that first round. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're expecting. Russell Westbrook going a dog out here every single night. Gotta love it. Alrighty, now this Pacers team. Sabonis still at the 5. He still got it done. Karis LeVert had a great game. Just unfortunately, the Wizards just outscored him a little bit more, putting up 100. I mean, once again, the Pacers putting up 141 points, still looking good, but once again, losing. They could put up the points. They could play defense, but at the end of the day, they still lose for some reason. They can't win these games, folks. I don't understand how they have a better record than the Wizards. I truly don't. But here we go. What is the official? Wow, the Wizards brought it within a half a game now for that 9th seed. Very well done for this Wizards team. Truly, man. Wow. All right, but let's talk about this Pacers team now. Edmund Sumner at the 1, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Karis LeVert had a great game, 33 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 39% shooting on 28 shots. Sabonis at the 5, 32 points, 19 rebounds, 9 assists. He had 6 turnovers, like Russell Westbrook. Doug McDermott, 11 points on 41% shooting. And then O'Shea Brissett, 10 points, 4 rebounds. But then their bench, solid production here from the bench. They only had 1, 2, 3 players in double-digit scoring, where the Wizards had 5, so that's where the loss comes from. TJ McConnell put up 15 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds off the bench in 31 minutes. Justin Holiday, 15 points, 2 assists. Aaron Holiday, 15 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. So the Pacers, they tried their best every single night, but we know it always comes up just short for them. And another loss here for the Pacers. Luckily, the Bulls and the Raptors are still kind of, decent amount of games that, 3.5 games back from that 9th seed. So the Pacers shouldn't be in too much trouble, but they still need to continue to win some more games here to kind of make sure that they can get a play-in tournament spot at least. But well done to the Wizards last night getting another win. Alrighty, let's move on to the Warriors and the Pelicans, and the Warriors get it done. 123-108 win over the Pelicans is just mother freaking Steph Curry, folks. Do you watch what this man does from the three-point line? It's just disrespectful on how great he is at shooting the 3 ball. It's like I have perfect defense, but it doesn't matter because he can hit it wherever he freaking wants. So Warriors get the win. Another win without Kelly Oubre Jr. Folks, I don't make the games. I don't make these outcomes of the games. I just talk about them. In another game without Kelly Oubre Jr., he hurts them more than he helps them, folks. They win off the bench. They win when he's not there. When they're in the starting lineup, they can't win. That's just what we see, folks. You can't blame me for my brain recognizing these patterns, folks. That's what the brain does. They recognize patterns. Sue me. Sue the brain. Sue the brain. But here we go. The Warriors. Here we go. Steph Curry, 41 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 8 of 18 from the three. Stupid. Kent Bazemore filling in at the 2 for Kelly Oubre Jr., 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. We'll take that. Kevon Looney down low, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Just being the beef down low, we guess. Draymond Green, 10 points, 15 assists, 13 rebounds, triple-double for the man. Like we know, this is what he does, folks. He's a stat sheet stuffer. He facilitates the floor. He's a great vocal leader defensively for the squad. So I hate the disrespect of Draymond Green. Y'all know I do. Andrew Wiggins, 26 points, 4 rebounds. Can always count on this man, folks. Andrew Wiggins gets disrespected so much in this league, but a little bit of an unsung hero on this Warriors team. Always consistent, and steps up big time here. Love it. Alrighty, off the bench here for the Warriors, Juan Toscano-Anderson, 14 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds on 75% shooting. Very well done. The only shots he missed were 2 3-pointers. And then Jordan Poole off the bench as well. 11 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. We'll take that. Give us those 10-plus points off the bench, especially without Kelly Oubre Jr. We need more scoring off the bench. And Juan Toscano-Anderson, Jordan Poole take care of that for the bench. Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins take care of it for the starters. So well done for the Warriors getting a win here. I believe they moved up a little bit. Yeah, wow. Look at this Warriors team, folks. We saw them at the 10th seed here in the Western Conference for the longest time, but they've slowly worked their way up. They've passed the Grizzlies now officially for that 8th seed. So now the Warriors at 8, the Grizzlies at 9, and the Spurs at 10. Pelicans still outside looking in. I mean, what an opportunity wasted last night for this Pelicans team to try and get an extra game lead for that playing tournament, but they lose, and now still kind of 2.5 games back from that 10th seed in the Spurs. So once again, the Pelicans just kind of missing an opportunity here. Unfortunate. Lonzo Ball didn't have a great game. I mean, this man never steps up in the biggest games, folks. I know y'all love Lonzo Ball, but come on. Got to step it up a little bit sometime. Here we go. Lonzo Ball, will start with him. 7 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. The 8 assists, 7 rebounds, we love that. But 7 points on 16% shooting on 18 shots. He took the third most shots, the second most shots in this game. Come on, that's not Lonzo's game. Facilitate the floor. Control the ball down low for Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. But that's not what Lonzo Ball does here. 7 points on 1 of 9 from 3, 3 of 18 from the field. Absolutely not good. Eric Bledsoe, 11 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. He only took 7 shots. Willie Hernangomez still at the 5 with no Steve Adams. 10 points, 7 rebounds. Zion Williamson, 32 points, 8 rebounds on 50% shooting. Brandon Ingram, a little bit of a light night. 19 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 of 4 from 3, and 45% from the field. So could have been a little bit better here. Zion just kind of doing what Zion does. He's the only real consistent scorer. Brandon Ingram's usually consistent. Eric Bledsoe doesn't show us anything great. And Lonzo Ball is really kind of streaky most of the games. Off the bench here for the Pelicans, nothing great. We got Najee Marshall, 12.6 rebounds. That's good, but that's really it. Jackson Hayes put up 9 points, 4 rebounds in 14 minutes on 100% shooting. Love seeing that, but just nothing else great here off this bench for the Pelicans. Lonzo Ball, a little bit of a flounder, and that's why they lose pretty decently, 123-108 over the Warriors. Alrighty, let's move on to the Blazers and the Hawks now. Alrighty, the Blazers, 4-game winning streak unfortunately comes to an end against the Hawks, but, that's why we told y'all to stay away from this game, just because we weren't really sure if this Blazers team was kind of legit, and we kind of turns out that they're not that unstoppable anymore. So let's start here with the Hawks. Trae Young, Bogdan Bogdanovic, their classic lineup here. Trae Young, 21 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds on 1 of 6 from 3. Could have been a little bit better. Bogdan Bogdanovic, 25 points, led the team in scoring. Oh, no. Danilo Gallinari off the bench led the team in scoring. But Bogdan Bogdanovic, 25 points on 7 of 14 from the 3. Jeez. Clint Capella, 11 points, 10 rebounds. John Collins, 15 points, 8 rebounds. And then Tony Snell at the 3 to round out the starters here. 6 points on only 3 shots and 3 rebounds to go along with that. So well done by the starters here, all kind of getting it done. And then this bench, yes sir, Danilo Gallinari stepping up big time here. Led the team in scoring, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, no turnovers. Fantastic. 7 of 10 from 3 off the bench. Yes sir, going on his Curry out there. Love seeing that. But little disappointed here. Kevin Huerter off the bench, 4 points on 25% shooting off the bench. Lou Williams, 4 points, 5 assists on 25% shooting off the bench. Wish they were a little bit more consistent here for this Hawks bench. But well done for Trae Young and Bogdan Bogdanovic, still getting it done, even though they've just came back to this team. For Trae Young, I think 2 or 3 games. Bogdan Bogdanovic, I think this was his first game back from missing a couple. But well done for the Hawks last night to stay at it, stay at what they do. So fantastic there. Now for the Blazers, what happened here? Alrighty, here we go. Damian Lillard, 33 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds on 6 of 11 from 3. So Damian Lillard had a great night scoring the ball. And CJ McCollum, 20 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 2 of 7 from 3. Not as efficient from 3 as we've kind of seen on that 4-game winning streak from the Blazers. So a huge reason here, which just kind of reaffirms of what we've been saying, is that Damian Lillard just for some reason cannot win with the starters. Remember in the kind of first half of the season when it was just Damian Lillard, McCollum was out with the injury, Nurkic was out for the injury, and then we had Derek Jones in the starting lineup and Enes Kanter in the starting lineup, and they were getting it done, winning games consistently. Damian Lillard being the big shot every single night. But now that McCollum's back and Nurkic is back, if Damian Lillard has a good game, it's like they lose. It's just kind of wild to think about and see. It truly is. But that's what we get last night. Damian Lillard, leading scorer, they lose. I don't know what to tell y'all. That's what it is. But here we go. CJ McCollum, like we said, 20 points on 2 of 7 from 3. Nurkic, 4 points, 9 rebounds. A light game by him during this 4-game winning streak. Nurkic was getting it done every game. Robert Covington at the 4, 9 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Norman Powell at the 3, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 3 of 5 from the 3. And then Carmelo Anthony still got it done off the bench, 14 points. We'll take that. Enes Kanter, 4 points, 5 rebounds. And that was really it. So, little lackluster off the bench, little lackluster for Powell and McCollum, and they end up losing this game here against the Hawks. So, I love to root for this Blazers team, but I don't know, man. Damian Lillard, when he has to kind of share the floor, they don't win, and it's truly unfortunate. So, well done for the Hawks to get back on track last night. Alrighty, next game up, the 76ers and the Bulls. And man, oh man, the Bulls, just unfortunate here. Not the greatest of a fight last night. Still 4 games back now from that 10th seed. So we gave the Bulls our kind of energy and rooting for them for a little bit this season. But it's unfortunately almost come to a complete stop here, I would say. So well done by the 76ers last night to get the win, 106-94. Let's talk about the 76ers. Seth Curry still at the 1, Ben Simmons still at the 2. So once again, keeping up with that. And Seth Curry had a great night. 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 of 5 from 3, 70% from the field. This is what we're talking about. Love to see kind of Doc Rivers switch up this kind of roster right before the playoffs to see if this is a kind of valuable lineup that works and wins games. And it is. So you got to shout out what Doc Rivers is doing here. Fantastic. So Seth Curry had a great night. Ben Simmons at the 2, 15 points, 5 assists, 6 6 rebounds, efficient as heck, 6 of 7 from the field, so still him getting it done at the 2. Joel Embiid, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Tobias Harris, 21 points, 9 rebounds. Danny Green, 14 points, 4 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds on 4 of 9 from 3. What an absolutely great performance here by the starters, every single one of them getting it done. And then off the bench, they didn't need too much. Dwight Howard, only 1 point, but 7 rebounds in 14 minutes. Matisse Thybulle, 8 points and 20 minutes off the bench. Shake Milton, 9 points, 3 assists on 14 minutes off the bench. So not bad there. The starters really all got it done. So shout out to the 76ers team. Love seeing Seth Curry at the 1 because it is truly working out here. Finally, we're seeing Seth Curry have consistently good games here in the starting lineup. We really haven't seen that all season. So Seth Curry at the 1 is truly getting it done. And now back to the Bulls. Still no Zach LaVine. Vucevic didn't even play last night, so really no freaking shot in heck for this team to win. So this was their starting lineup that they went with. Kobe White at the 1, Garrett Temple at the 2, Patrick Williams at the 3, Thaddeus Young at the 4, and Daniel Tice at the 5. Daniel Tice played 40 minutes, folks. Holy moly. All right, here we go. Let's start with Kobe White first. 23 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 5 of 10 from 3. Garrett Temple only 7 points on 6 shots. Daniel Tice 11 points, 8 rebounds on 40 minutes and 40% from the field. Thaddeus Young 13 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds on 46% on 13 shots. Patrick Williams 5 points on 25% shooting. Really lackluster jobs here. Thaddeus Young, in and out of this starting lineup really doesn't improve his game. So really kind of have to officially cross this man off as 6th man of the year. 6th man of the year. Jordan Clarkson steps it up when, without Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, and when he has to be the starting point guard, he steps it up. Thaddeus Young doesn't really do that here. So we tracked it for a little bit, but unfortunately I think we are going to have to take Thaddeus Young officially out of our 6th man of the year discussion. A little unfortunate, but we need more wins here for this Bulls team, and that's not what we're getting here at all. So nothing great from the starting lineup besides Kobe White. Off the bench, Thomas Ortansky, 10 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and Denzel Valentine, 11 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. So, once again, just nothing great here from the starters consistently, nothing great from the bench, and the Bulls lose another game. Not great. Alrighty, next game up, Knicks and the Grizzlies, and this was one of our moneymaker picks from last night as well. Knicks +3. They were getting 3 points last night, correct? Yes, they were. Knicks +3, and they win outright. Once again, we love this Knicks team. We can bet on them. They keep every game close, but this one was a blowout, so I guess we have to call this Grizzlies team a not good team because we've been saying this Knicks team blows out bad teams, and they blew them out by 14, so you got to give this Knicks team a ton of credit. So let's see who got it done here. The usual suspects, but let's kind of talk about it. So here we go. Julius Randle led the team in scoring, 28 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 of 8 from 3. Yes, sir. RJ Barrett, 15 points, 7 rebounds. Alfred Payton, 10 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Yes, sir. Reggie Bullock, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Yes, sir. And then Derek mother-loving Rose, folks. Give it up. 25 points on 73% shooting. Derek Rose is like, hang on. I know our bench has to get a lot of points from everybody, but y'all can't do it consistently, so I'm going to put y'all on my back, and I'm going to put up 25 a night here. So well done to Derrick Rose. Fantastic. Emmanuel quickly put up 8 points on 50% shooting. Alec Burks put up 9 points on 57% shooting, so we'll give him that as well. If Derrick Rose is going crazy off the bench, these 8 and 9 point productions are still great. So fantastic here. Everybody on this Knicks team, from the starters to the bench, get it done. And Taj Gibson, let's shout out this man. He was getting it done from the starters because no Nerlens Noel, and he still got it done. Taj Gibson, 6 points, 12 rebounds in the starting rotation, a +7, getting it done defensively, and that's what we know. They're led by Tom Thibodeau, folks, a defensive guru in this league. So shout out to the Knicks here, still getting it done, and truly impressive here for the win. Alrighty, here we go. Grizzlies, their starting lineup was intact. Grayson Allen's first game back, but I still think that man may still be a little concussed because he didn't have a great night. Neither did John Morant, but let's talk about this Grizzlies team. Here we go. John Morant, 8 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds on 0 of 4 from the 3, and 2 of 14 from the field. An awful night by John Morant. Grayson Allen had a bad offensive night. 2 points on 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. Couldn't get it done. Jonas Valanciunas, 11 points, 16 rebounds. Kyle Anderson, 13 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. And then Dylan Brooks, he led the team in scoring with 25 points. But look at all this other offensive totals here by the starting roster. Absolutely garbage. Luckily, this Grizzlies team was a little, close in this game. I guess kept it decently competitive. Not truly, but thanks to the bench of Jaren Jackson Jr. putting up 15 points and Desmond Bane putting up 22 points and 8 rebounds off the bench, helped this Grizzlies team make it a little close, but John Morant and Grayson Allen letting this Grizzlies town big time last night. So well done for the Knicks getting the win on the road. All right, let's go to the Jazz and the Spurs now. Jazz win 110-99 over the Spurs. Who did good for the Jazz? Joe Ingles still at the starting point guard. 13 points, 9 assists. We like that. 2 of 7 from 3. Could have been a little bit better. Royce O'Neal still at the 2. 7 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Rudy Gobert, 24 points, 15 rebounds. Georges Niang, 11 points on 40% shooting. 3 of 6 from 3. Alrighty, Georges Niang maybe a little bit better than what we've been seeing recently from them. And then Bojan Bogdanovic. The Bogdanovic brothers, folks. I don't think they're related, but if you got the last name Bogdanovic, you're going to be an elite scorer in this league. 25 points, 2 of 7 from the 3, but those 25 points led the team in scoring. We'll take that all day. Jordan Clarkson off the bench. Look at this. 16 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 of 10 from 3, 7 of 20 from the field. He just puts up a lot of shots, folks. I don't really know if I want to give this man 6th man of the year. We'll see where the Mavericks finish with Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench. Potentially him being him and Montrezl Harrell. That's the 3 that we're kind of choosing between at the current moment. Jordan Clarkson, Montrezl Harrell, and Tim Hardaway Jr. for 6th man of the year. So well done for the Jazz. For the Spurs, DeMar DeRozan, 22 points and 6 assists. And then nothing else great. The second highest scorer was Rudy Gay off the bench with 17 points. Then DeJounte Murray with 15 points in the starting lineup. So Spurs lose. We know this. We know they lose, folks. And then the last game of the night, the Lakers and the Nuggets. The Lakers get the nice 4-point win here. Lakers 93, Nuggets 89. Little lackluster offensive shooting here for the Nuggets, so let's see why. Facundo Campazzo, 8 points, 8 assists. He's still the starting point guard. PJ Dozier, 3 points on 16% shooting on 6 shots. Needed to be way better than that. Jokic did his thing, 32 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. Aaron Gordon, 5 points on 28% shooting. Once again, he's not really getting it done offensively. He's a great defender, a plus lay down the floor, but still, points need to come from somewhere, especially without Jamal Murray. Usually, Michael Porter Jr. picks up the slack, but he only had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of 7 from 3. Usually, we're seeing him in like 25-plus point category. So, a little light on Michael Porter Jr., but still decent overall. And then off the bench, JaVale McGee putting up 10 points and 3 rebounds off the bench, but then just nothing great. Austin Rivers, 3 points, 6 assists, only took 3 shots, so we can't kind of knock him too much. But an unfortunate loss by the Nuggets here. Not going to put too much weight into it. They're still good, and we still, believe them to kind of be the number 1 seed. Them losing against the Lakers isn't making us panic about having them as our number 1 seed. We're still fine with that. And then the Lakers last night, who stepped up big time here? Caruso, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. KCP, 10 points on 25% shooting, 7 rebounds. Andre Drummond, 4 points, 0 rebounds. How do you got 0 rebounds on there? I don't know that. I don't know how the heck that happened. Anthony Davis, 25 points, led the team in scoring, 7 rebounds. Kyle Kuzma in the starting lineup at the 3, 6 points, 4 rebounds. Nothing great there. Off the bench, Montrezl Harrell only played 9 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds. Talen Horton-Tucker, 10 points off the bench. Marc Gasol, 10 points, 7 rebounds off the bench in 16 minutes. So a little bit of a better bench here than what the Nuggets had, and they lose a close one here. But, we saw them lose a game before. They brush it off with another big win streak. They're still, I want to say they're like 8-2 in their last 10. What do we got? Yeah, 8-2 in their last 10. So we're not worried about this Nuggets team of losing to the Lakers. We just have to see if they can kind of bounce back and get back on track. Then that's when we'll start to have a little bit of issues if they don't kind of get bounced back from this win. From from this loss. Jeez. Alrighty, that was all the NBA from last night. Let's see what we have on tap for today and do our moneymaker. Let's try to go through this a little quickly so we can squeeze in our main segment today. But here we go. This is what we have on tap for today. Suns, Cavs, Hornets, Pistons. Round 2 of Nets, Bucks on TNT 7:30. Gonna be a great one. If you missed the first one, don't miss this one. Mavericks, Heat. That's going to be a great game. Warriors, Pelicans again. Kings, Thunder, and Raptors, Clippers. 10 o'clock on TNT for the late game. So, those are all the games. Let's refresh the line for tonight's action. We went 2-1 officially last night. Wizards minus 3.5. Knicks plus 3 hitting. Nuggets minus 3.5. Unfortunately, they lose by 4. So this is what we have for tonight. First game up, Suns and Cavs. Suns minus 13, Cavs plus 13. For the Suns, Jay Crowder is still out. Hopefully he can get back in time before the playoffs start. And Cameron Payne is a game time decision. For the Cavs, Larry Nance Jr. is out. Isaiah Hartenstein is out. Darius Garland is out, unfortunately, and Lamar Stevens. So we're going to have to stay away from this one. Just a little bit too much to swallow than we like, so we'll stay away from it. Hornets, Pistons. Hornets minus 3, Pistons plus 3. Alrighty, Hornets. Big game here for them. Gordon Hayward out. Cody Martin out. Devontae Graham out. Miles Bridges out. PJ Washington out. No. Hornets. No. They're the 8th seed right here. Really kind of hard for them to move up. They do have their work cut out for them. 2.5 games back from that 7th seed if they want to move up one spot. So hope this Hornets team can still win here. For the Pistons, Mason Plumlee, game time decision. Ronnie Magruder out. Corey Joseph, game time decision. Wayne Ellington, game time decision. Jeremy Grant, game time decision. Jahlil Okafor is out. And Dennis Smith is out. We're going to stay away from this one. Don't trust the Pistons. And with all those outs there for the Hornets, can't trust them minus 3 either. Alrighty, here we go again. Nets plus 2, Bucks minus 2. We had the Nets plus 2.5. They lost by 3 in their first meeting. The Nets are still plus 2. James Harden and Chris Chiaz is out, so they are going to get Nicholas Claxton back, hopefully to help out with that beef down low that they got absolutely destroyed with in their first meeting. For the Bucks, Jeff Teague is out. Bobby Portis is a game-time decision. So, a little less off the bench with Jeff Teague a little bit there for the Bucks. But with Nicholas Claxton being in, I think we're going to take the points here with the Nets again. Let's see if this Nets team can kind of, split here with the Bucks. This is a huge game. Can Kevin Durant go off again for 40? Can Kyrie Irving be a little bit more efficient shooting the ball? And having Nicholas Claxton there definitely is going to help him down low, because Giannis was eating all day down low, folks. We all saw that. So we're going to take the Nets plus 2 here. Let's take the points again, and let's see if the Nets can get it done here against the Bucks for round 2. Alrighty, then we get the Mavericks and the Heat. Mavericks plus 3.5, Heat minus 3.5. Alrighty, here for the Heat. Let's see if Victor Oladipo's good to go now. Kristaps Porzingis is a game-time decision. Maxi Kleber's a game-time decision. Tyrell Terry's out. Andre Iguodala's game time decision. Victor Oladipo is still out, so maybe that tweet was for their next game. And then Tyler Hero is also out, but this is going to be a great game here. Two teams that are just trying to kind of stay above water here. Heat the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Mavericks the 6th seed in the Western Conference. Mavericks only a half a game back from falling into the 7th seed in the play-in tournament. The Heat only a game back from falling down to number 7 and into the play-in tournament. So a must-win game for both these teams. We'll just watch this one and see who comes out on top, but this is going to be a great one. Alrighty, then we get the Warriors and the Pelicans. We just saw this game last night. Probably will stay away from this one again. For the Warriors, Damian Lee is a game time decision. Kelly Oubre Jr. is still out, so maybe they do get the win here again. For the Pelicans, Steven Adams is a game time decision. Josh Hart and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are still out, so we'll see if Steven Adams goes in the back-to-back, but we don't take the back-to-back, so we stay away from Warriors Pelicans. Definitely don't take back-to-backs when it's literally back-to-back days. Definitely don't do that. Kings, Thunder, Kings minus 5, Thunder plus 5 here. Wow, Kings minus 5? I get 5 points for this Thunder team. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's there, I'm taking the 5. I don't care. Harrison Barnes, game time decision. De'Aaron Fox is still out, but they went with without De'Aaron Fox. They're 2-0 without the man. For the Thunder, oh no, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is out. Dort is good to go, and Puko Savetsky is a game time decision. So I guess we'll stay away from this one. No Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And then the last game of the night, the Raptors and the Clippers. Raptors plus 9.5, Clippers minus 9.5. For the Raptors, Fred VanVleet is a game time decision. Chris Boucher is out, and OG Anunoby is a game time decision, and Gary Trent Jr. is a game time decision. For the Clippers, just Patrick Beverley, Serge Ibaka, and Amir Coffey are all out. So Kawhi is good to go. Paul George is good to go. So damn, really no great value here tonight. The Raptors are kind of in a little bit of a must-win here at that number 11 seed, 3 games back for that 10th seed. So we're going to bet on the Raptors tonight. They may not win, but we're going to bet on them keeping it close because this is a must-win game. We'll take the plus 9.5 for them. Just a must-win game. Beef up our moneymaker a little bit here. So here we go. This is what we got. We're betting again on the Nets plus 2 and the Raptors plus 9.5 for tonight's action. Alrighty, let's head over to our main topic today, which is going through the remainder of the schedules here for these playoff teams. We're going to go through, say their final record, and then we'll have a clear picture for these last about 8 games for everybody involved to see which teams are going to shore up their playoff positioning, which team's going to claim the number 1 seed in the East and West. I mean, the 76ers are currently the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, but the Nets are only a game back at the number 2. And the Jazz, currently the number 1 seed, and the Suns are only a half a game back. And we've seen, the Suns just overtake the 1. They just lost it again. So, you got 8 games to go and prove that you deserve it. So, and then the play-in tournaments. Wizards are at that number 10 seed. Raptors 3 games back from the play-in tournament at number 11. Spurs the 10th seed in the Western Conference. Pelicans 2.5 games back at that 11 seed for the play-in tournament. So let's go through the entire schedule here. Pick the winner and losers of these games, of these remaining 8 games, and let's total them out and have our final official prediction of the final standings after the regular season, at the end of the regular season. So let's start here. We'll start here with the Eastern Conference first. Just going to go through 1 through 12. Are we going through 12? The Bulls still have a shot. 4 games back, and the Cavs have been mathematically eliminated. So we're going to probably take the top 12 teams here in the Eastern and Western Conference. So let's go through these quickly. Here we go. Let's bring up the 76ers. We'll start with them first since they're the number 1 seed in the East. So here we go. Philadelphia's remaining schedule. Let's get that up. Alrighty. First of all, how many games have they got left? Houston, Pelicans, Pistons, Pacers, Heat, Magic. So 7 games left. Alrighty. Their next game against the Rockets. That's an easy win for them. No problem there. Then they go and face the Pelicans. Once again, another pretty much easy win. This Pelicans team is not that competitive against the best teams, folks. And like we said, this 76ers team is the best team in the East. They're one of the most deepest teams. Switching Seth Curry over to the number 1 has been working out for them. So, yes, they beat the Pelicans. They beat the Pistons. That's an easy team. This Pacers team is an easy team. They beat them easy peasy. Now they run into the Heat. I'm still going to have the 76ers win, but this is going to be a big competitive game for them. And then to close out the season, they face the Magic twice. We're going to give them 7 more wins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, sir. They win all of them. They beat the Rockets, Pelicans, Pistons, Pacers, Heat, Orlando. Twice. Alrighty, we'll keep that in mind for when we talk about the Heat. They lose to the 76ers. When we talk about the Pacers, they lose to the 76ers. We are going to keep that in mind. Alrighty, so the 76ers go 7-0 remaining. So their new record officially is 51-21 on the 72 game schedule. So well done. 51-21 officially. The 76ers close out the season on a flawless run. Alrighty, let's go to the Nets now. Their remaining schedule. Alrighty, the Nets, how many games do they got remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as well. So here we go. Now they got a little bit of a tougher one here. They face the Bucks tonight. Well, we're going to have to go. I know we just bet them in our Moneymaker +2, but they just lost to them, so I think we're going to count this one as a loss as well. So they lose against the Mavericks. We'll have them winning against Dallas. Officially, they'll probably split one of these games. We'll have them beating Dallas. Then they go and face Denver, and I don't think they beat the Denver Nuggets. I like what they've got there. I love what the Nuggets are doing. So we have them losing against the Bucks. We have them beating the Mavericks. I've got this Nets team losing to the Nuggets. They beat the Bulls, no problem. They beat the Spurs. They beat the Bulls again. And then they beat Chicago for the last game. Alrighty, so they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more wins, 2 losses in their last 7 games. So they go to 48-24. Alrighty, the Bucks here now. Let's go to their schedule. A chance to potentially move up a little bit of beating the Nets here again. The Bucks, Milwaukee. I was going to say, what the hell is their freaking city? All right, Milwaukee, here we go. How many games they got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They got 8 games left. Alrighty, here we go. Against Brooklyn, we say that they get the win. They beat the Nets. Against the Wizards. This is going to be a great game, but I got to give it up for the Bucks here. They beat the Wizards, but I definitely am interested in that game. They beat the Rockets, no problem. Rockets. They beat the Spurs, no problem. They beat the Magic, no problem. They beat the Pacers, no problem. Alrighty, the last 2 games, Miami. I'll give them a loss against Miami here. Just so they don't go undefeated. They possibly can, but maybe they lose once against Miami. Maybe that Brooklyn they lose. So we'll give them one loss here against Miami, and then they beat Chicago. So they officially go 7-1 in their last 8. All right, so let's add more wins and losses for them. So they will officially finish 47-25, which is one worse than the Nets. So they can't make it up fully. So the 76ers are still at 1, the Nets are still at 2, and the Bucks are still at 3 so far. Let's see if the Knicks can catch them. I don't think they can, but let's see what they've got on their schedule. Just a little bit too much back here for the Knicks, I think, to be able to catch anybody. But let's see if they can kind of keep that 4th seed that they're in right now. Alrighty, here we go. The Knicks' remaining schedule. How many games they got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. Here we go. They face the Nuggets. Ooh, I love the Knicks. I can't give them a win against the Nuggets. I'm still buying this Nuggets team, even though they lost against the Lakers last night. We're counting that as just a little bit of an unfortunate loss. Teams have those all the time, but the Knicks bounced back from theirs. They just lost to the Suns by 8. They bounced back on the 3-game winning streak. That's how we say, the Nuggets did. They lost a game without Jamal Murray. They bounced back with some more wins. So I'm not worried about this Nuggets team. So unfortunately, the Knicks do lose against the Nuggets. They lose against the Suns. I don't think they're ready to kind of compete with them. Oh my God, a brutal schedule up here. Let's just talk. I'll just name them real quick. The Nuggets, the Suns, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Spurs, the Hornets, the Celtics. Man, oh man, a really brutal schedule here. So they lose against the Nuggets. They lose against the Suns. They lose against the Clippers, unfortunately. I'll have them beating the Lakers. I'll give them a win there. They beat the Spurs. They beat the Hornets, And I think they beat the Celtics their last game of the season. So we'll have them, getting it done in the end of the season. But these 3 games, man, oh man, this is a tough gauntlet to run these next 3 games. Nuggets, Suns, Clippers. And this is going to tell us if the Knicks are the real deal. Are they ready to kind of make that next step? Yes, they're playoff contenders and will probably win the first round. But once we start to get to that second, third round, can this Knicks team, can they win the series? Can they steal a couple of games? This is going to be determined with these next 3 games. All on the road as well. Jeez Louise. Alrighty, so we have the Knicks finishing 4-3 in their last 7 games here. So let's add that total to their standings currently. So they finish at 41 and 31. 41 and 31, which will be what the Knicks finish. Alrighty, let's go to the Hawks now. Here we go. Let's get their schedule up. Here we go. How many games do they got left on the schedule? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, only 6 more games. But here we go against the Suns. Gonna be a good one, but I'm gonna have them losing against the Suns. Suns are the real deal. So they lose against the Suns. They beat the Pacers. That's easy. Wizards. I'm going to have them split with the Wizards. They face Wizards back-to-back here. They split it. 1 win, 1 loss. So we had them splitting against the Wizards back-to-back here. Then they beat the Magic, and then they beat the Rockets. So we have them going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 in their last 6 games. 4 and 2. Alrighty. So let's add that total to their remaining standings. And they will be 40 and 32. Once again, they stay at the 5th seed, so nobody has moved at all. 76ers stay at 1, Nets stay at 2, Bucks stay at 3, Knicks stay at 4, Hawks stay at 5, and that brings us up to the Heat. Alrighty, here we go. Getting the Heat up. Alrighty, the Heat have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. Dallas, Minnesota, Celtics twice, 76ers, Bucks, and the Pistons. So here we go. The Heat against the Mavericks. This is going to be a tough one. They are at home for it. I'm going to give the win for the Heat here. Bam Adebayo versus Porzingis. We're going to get it up for the Heat here. So the Heat beat the Mavericks. And then against the Timberwolves, ooh, you know how much we love the Timberwolves, but I'm going to give the Heat the win here. But we will take the points with that Timberwolves team. Don't get us wrong there. Absolutely. We'll take those. Probably be like 6 points maybe, and we'll take those points all day. So they beat the Mavs. They beat the T-Wolves. Going to have them split against the Celtics here. They face them back-to-back. So split against the Celtics. We had them losing against the 76ers. So we got to count that as a loss. We have them losing against the Bucks. Yep, we do have that. Or no, do we have them beating the Bucks? I forgot what I said. I forgot what I wrote down here. They beat the Nets, the Wizards, the Rockets. Did we count it as that Miami, their game that they lose? I think we did give them the win. I think we did give Miami the win there. Alrighty, so let's give Miami the win here against the Bucks. They beat the Bucks. Their outside shooting should be able to kind of beat them. And then they beat the Pistons. So they go 5-2 in their last 7, beating the Mavs, the Timberwolves, the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Pistons. Losing against the Celtics and the 76ers here. So they go 5-2 in their last 7. So let's add their total to them. And the Heat are now 40 and 32. Did we miss a game with this Hawks team? 40 and 32. So the Hawks and the Heat are both tied at 40 wins and 32 losses. Don't know who has the tiebreaker between these two teams. They don't face each other in this kind of final 8 games, so we'll see how it is. We'll just kind of leave it at the Hawks at 5 and the Heat at 6, both in this kind of play-in tournament. All right, let's go to the Celtics now at number 7. What is their schedule looking like remaining? Alrighty, for the Celtics, they've got 7 games left. They face the Magic, the Bulls, the Heat twice, the Cavs, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. So, the Celtics, they beat the Magic. They beat the Bulls. We have them splitting against Miami. They beat the Cavs, no problem. Do they beat the Timberwolves? I have the Timberwolves beating one of these teams here, and I'm going to have them beating the Celtics. So they lose against the T-Wolves. And we have the Knicks beating the Celtics. So we've got the Celtics losing to the Knicks there. So the Celtics go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 in their last 7. Which brings them to 38 wins and 36 losses. So they will be the 7th seed. The Heat and the Hawks still having the same record. Maybe one's 5, maybe one's 6. But the main story is that they're 5 and 6, and they're both in the playoffs, not in the play-in tournament. So the Celtics will be in the play-in tournament. Now the Hornets at number 8 now. Alrighty, let's get their schedule up. Will a team switch positions here in the final 8 games? Has not seen like it yet, but we've still got more to go. Here we go. This Hornets team, how many games do they got left? Jeez, they got Detroit, Chicago, Magic, Pelicans, Nuggets, Clippers, Knicks, and Washington. They've got 8 games remaining. So here we go. The Hornets, they beat the Pistons. They beat the Bulls. They beat the Magic. Can they beat the Pelicans? I wish they can, man. I do think they can do that. Do we give them the win? Let's give them a loss there. We're going to give them a loss against the Pelicans. They lose against the Nuggets. They lose against the Clippers. We have them losing. We have them losing against the Knicks, unfortunately. And then what do we have against the Wizards? What do we got the Wizards? We didn't do the Wizards yet? Alrighty, so Hornets, Wizards. Gonna have to give it up for this Hornets team. Gonna give the Hornets the win over the Wizards there. So the Hornets finish 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 in their last 8 games. Alrighty, let's go and add that to their total. So they finish with 35 wins and 37 losses, staying at number 8 here. Now the Pacers up next at number 9. Alrighty, their remaining schedule: the Kings, the Hawks, the Wizards, the Cavs, the 76ers, the Bucks, the Lakers, and the Raptors. 8 games as well left for this Pacers team. Alrighty, they probably beat the Kings. That should be an easy one. They lose against the Hawks. They lose against the Wizards. They can beat the Cavs. They lose against the 76ers. They lose against the Bucks. They lose against the Lakers. And they lose against the Raptors. So they go 2 and 6 in their last 8 games. I said that to their total. So they finish 32 and 40. Not the greatest. Alrighty, that brings us to the Wizards at number 10. Alrighty, Wizards remaining schedule: Bucks, Raptors, Pacers, Hawks twice, Cavs, and the Hornets. 7 games left. Alrighty, they lose to the Bucks. What do we say about the Raptors? Did we get to them yet? We did not get to them. So I'm going to say that they beat the Raptors. We're giving the Wizards the win over the Raptors. They beat the Pacers. we'll have them. Do we have them split against the Hawks? Yes, we do. All right, split against the Hawks. They beat the Cavs. And what do we say about the Hornets? I think we had them beating the Wizards. We did, unfortunately. So they do lose against the Hornets. Alrighty, so they finish 4-3 in their last 7. So let's add up their total. And the Wizards will finish 34-39. Is that right? 34-38. And they would move up to that 9th seed. So they go to the 9th seed. Pacers fall to the 10th seed. But let's see if this Raptors and Bulls team can get into the play-in tournament now. So let's go to the Raptors at number 11. A lot of work to be done, but let's see what the remaining schedule is looking like. Alrighty, their remaining schedule: the Clippers, the Wizards, the Grizzlies, the Clippers again, the Bulls, the Mavs, the Pacers. 7 games left. Here we go. Against the Clippers, they lose against the Clippers. We have them losing against Washington, the Wizards. I gotta say they lose against the Grizzlies as well. They lose against the Clippers as well. I can't even have them splitting against the Clippers. I'll have them beating the Bulls, but Zach LaVine's probably going to be back at that time, so a big matchup for both of these teams, but we'll give the Raptors the benefit of the doubt in the head-to-head matchup. Mavericks will have them beating the Mavs, give them an extra win, and then we'll have them beating the Pacers as well. Alrighty, so the Raptors finish with 3-4 in their last 7 games. So let's add that total. Is it going to be enough to get into the play-in tournament? They finish with 30 wins and 42 losses. Not enough to beat the 10th seeded Pacers at 32 wins. Unfortunate. Now that leaves the Bulls. Can the Bulls get it done? Unfortunate. I mean, there's opportunity, folks. I mean, this Pacers team, we have them going 2-6 in their last 8. Just unfortunately for this Raptors team, having to face the Clippers twice, having to face the Grizzlies. Maybe they can beat the Wizards, but still they would need to find one more game to try and get to potentially have the tiebreaker over the Pacers. So tough for the Raptors here, tough closing out schedule. But let's finish off here with the Bulls in the Eastern Conference. They have a chance here to get in the play-in tournament. Let's see if they take it. Their last games against the Hornets, the Celtics, the Pistons, the Nets, the Raptors, the Nets again, and the Bucks. Oh boy, tough schedule here. Alrighty, against the Hornets, we have them we've got the Hornets beating the Bulls, unfortunately. So the Bulls lose to the Hornets. They lose to the Celtics. They beat the Pistons. They lose to the Nets. They lose to the Raptors. They lose to the Nets again. And then they lose to the Bucks. So a real tough schedule here for the Bulls as well. They finished 1-6 in their last 7. Add the 1 extra game for them. They finished 27-35. Yikes. So this is how we have it. The 76ers still the 1. The Nets still the 2. The Bucks still the 3. The Knicks still the 4. The Hawks still the 5. The Heat still the 6. The Celtics still number 7. The Hornets still number 8, but the Wizards number 9 and the Pacers number 10. So no new additions here. The Raptors can't get it. The Raptors don't get in the play-in tournament. The Bulls don't get in the play-in tournament, and basically everything's the same besides the 9th and the 10th seed. So no real movement here from what we are expecting in the final 8 games in the Eastern Conference. Alrighty, let's head over to the Western Conference now. This is how it is. Jazz 1, Suns 2, Nuggets 3, Clippers 4, Lakers 5. Well done for the Lakers. Finally out of the play-in tournament now. Just took one game. Fantastic for them. Mavericks at 6, Blazers at 7, Warriors at 8, Grizzlies at 9, Spurs at 10, Pelicans at 11, Kings at 12 for potentially getting into the play-in tournament. So let's go top to bottom as well here. And we'll start here with the Jazz. So let's get the Jazz schedule up, and we'll start doing the Western Conference. So Utah Jazz, here we go. Their remaining schedule: the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Blazers, the Thunder, and the Kings. 7 games remaining. So they beat the Spurs. The Nuggets, man, it's going to be a tight game, but I am going to give it to the Nuggets. I'm going to give the Nuggets the win there over the Jazz. They beat the Rockets. The Warriors, they always play up to their competition. I'm going to give the Warriors the win over this Jazz team, especially without Donovan Mitchell. Their scoring is a little lackluster without Donovan Mitchell. They're still a good team, don't get us wrong. They are still decently deep as well, but I like some of these teams to upside them a little bit more. We still think the Jazz are, the most fraudulent of the best teams available. Alrighty, so they lose to the Warriors. They beat the Rockets. Alright, then it goes to the Blazers. I gotta say they lose to the Blazers. I love the Blazers, but they don't really beat any of the big teams consistently. And then they beat the Thunder, and they beat the Kings. So we have the Jazz finishing 5-2 in their last 7 games. So let's add that to their total. So their final regular season total is going to be 51 wins. Did I do that right? 52 wins and 20 losses. The best record in the NBA, where we had the 76ers finishing first in the East at 51-21. So they would have that one game over the Eastern Conference of the 76ers. So well done. Jazz finished 52-20. Alrighty, now let's go to the Suns now. Can they get it done? Only a half a game back from this Jazz team. Let's see what their schedule is looking like. Alrighty, the Suns' remaining schedule. They got the Cavs, the Hawks, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Blazers, and the Spurs twice. 8 games left. Alrighty, here we go. The Suns, they beat the Cavs. No problem. The Suns, I gotta say, did we say they beat the Hawks? Yes, we did. Alrighty, so they beat the Hawks. The Knicks, we have them beating the Knicks. We have them beating the Lakers. We're going to have them beating the Warriors. We're going to have them beating the Blazers. And we're going to have them beating the Spurs twice. They round out the final 8 games with all wins. Maybe they lose against the Warriors or the Blazers. Maybe. But we're going to count it as an 8-game win streak to close out these final 8 games, just like what Devin Booker did in the bubble by himself last season. 8 play-in games. I'll win them all, no problem. We'll still come up short, but we're not coming up short this season. So they finished 8-0 in their last 8 games. Fantastic. Let's add that to their total. So the Suns are going to finish at 54-18, being the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Well done to the Suns. Alrighty, now let's talk about the Nuggets at the 3rd seed. Look at this Nuggets team at the 3rd seed. Love it. Everybody stepping up without Jamal Murray. So much credit goes to Facundo Campazzo. So much credit goes to Michael Porter Jr. And then, already credit is there with Jokic. We don't have to say that again. But, he was winning. He was doing it with Jamal Murray. Obviously, he's still getting it done without him. But big step-ups by Michael Porter Jr. going for like 30 a night now, and Facundo Campazzo being the facilitator. So well done for the Denver Nuggets. But let's talk about their remaining schedule. Do they have a chance to get to that number 1 seed? Probably not, since unfortunately the Suns went 8-0. But this is what the Nuggets had. They got the Knicks, the Jazz, the Nets, the Hornets, the T-Wolves, the Pistons, and the Blazers. Kind of 50-50, good and hard here. Easy hard here for this Nuggets team. But for the Knicks, we have them beating the Knicks. Well done. The Jazz, we have them beating the Jazz. Yes, sir. The Nets, we've got the Nuggets beating the Nets. Fantastic. Alrighty, we've got them beating the Hornets. We've got them beating the T-Wolves. We've got them beating the Pistons. And we've got them beating the Blazers. Yes, sir. Just one little loss here. Like we said, against this Warriors team, Warriors play up to their competition. They lose, but then they go rally off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. And then they lose against the Lakers. They'll rally off another 5. We think 8 wins here. So 7 wins. They finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They finish 7-0 to round out their season. Fantastic for the Nuggets. So we'll add 7 games to them. And they finish at 50-22. Fantastic. So they move up. Well, they stay at the 3rd seed, unfortunately. Just a flip-flop of 1 and 2. Nuggets stay at number 3. Alrighty, Clippers here at number 4. Let's get their schedule up. Alrighty, for the Clippers, their remaining schedule, the Raptors, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Raptors again, the Hornets, the Rockets, the Thunder. Real easy schedule here. So, they go and beat the Raptors. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Knicks. They beat the Raptors again. They beat the Hornets. They beat the Rockets. They beat the Thunder. They go 7-0. 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-0. Just like the Nuggets. They will finish just like the Nuggets, 50-22. Unfortunately, they do have the tiebreaker. So the Clippers stay at number 4. Alrighty, let's go to the Lakers at 5. Do they move up? Do they move down? Are they in the play-in tournament? Let's see what we get. The Lakers' remaining schedule here. They face the Clippers, the Blazers, the Suns, the Knicks, the Rockets, the Pacers, and the Pelicans. 7 games left. Tough schedule here. So we have them losing against the Clippers. That Blazers game, it's going to be a huge one. Is LeBron playing or not? It's this Friday on ESPN. LeBron has to come back from this game. Must-win game here against the Blazers. I'm going to have the Blazers winning it, folks. So they lose against the Blazers. They lose against the Suns. They lose against the Knicks. We have the Knicks beating this Lakers team. But then they go out and beat the Rockets. They beat the Pacers. And they beat the Pelicans to finish 3-4 in their final 7. Tough schedule here for the Lakers, truly. Especially these next 4 games. Clippers, Blazers, Suns, and the Knicks. Wow, oh wow. So let's add 3 and 4 to their schedule, to their ranks. So they finish 40-32. Alrighty, so they definitely don't move up to that 4th seed, but can they keep the 5th seed? Let's see what the Mavericks are working with at number 6 for their remainder of the season. Alrighty, final schedule here for the Mavs. They got the Heat, the Nets, the Cavs twice, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Raptors, and the T-Wolves. 8 games remaining here for the Mavericks. Here we go. Against the Heat, we have them losing. Against the Nets, we have them losing. We'll have them beating the Cavs twice. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. The Grizzlies, we're going to have them losing against the Grizzlies. The Pelicans, we have them losing against the Grizzlies. They'll beat the Pelicans. The Raptors, we have them losing, so they unfortunately have to lose against the Raptors. And then they beat the Timberwolves. So they finish 4-4 in their last 8 games here. Let's add that to their total. So they finish 40-32, just like the Lakers. And They do have a half-game lead. The Lakers have a half-game lead, so they've got the head-to-head tiebreaker. So the Lakers will stay the 5 seed, and the Mavs will be the 6 seed. But let's see if the Blazers, they're only a game back from the Lakers, so let's see if they can try to leapfrog up here. Let's see what they got for their remaining schedule. Hopefully it's easy, man. It's got to be easy for this Blazers, hopefully. But let's see what they get. Our camera just died, unfortunately, so hopefully the frozen screen, the last image isn't anything wild. But here we go. The Blazers, their remaining schedule. The Cavs, the Lakers, the Spurs, the Rockets, the Jazz, the Suns, the Nuggets. 7 games left remaining. Alrighty. The Blazers, they beat the Cavs. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Spurs. They beat the Rockets. They lose to the Jazz. They lose to the Suns. And we have them. Oh, we have them. We have them losing against the the Nuggets as well. So they finish 4-3 in their last 7 games here. Tough matchups against the Jazz and the Suns and the Nuggets. And, man, that's their final 3 games. So it's going to be Damian Lillard do or die in these last 3 games to kind of shore up their positioning a little bit. But let's see how 4-3 goes for this Blazers team. This Blazers team would finish 40-32, just like the Lakers, just like the Mavs. So we're going to have this kind of, tie-breaking scenario between Lakers, Mavericks, and Blazers. We'll see how it plays out and it works out, but all finishing with 40 wins and 32 losses. Jeez. Alrighty, now the Warriors now at number 8. Can they potentially get out of the play-in tournament? Let's see. The Warriors. Why am I blanking on their city? Golden State. There we go. Alrighty. Here we go. Their remaining schedule. They got the Pelicans, the Thunder twice, the Jazz, the Suns, the Pelicans, the Grizzlies. Alrighty. For the Pelicans, they beat the Pelicans again tonight. They beat the Thunder twice. They lose against the Jazz. No. We have the Warriors beating the Jazz. Wow. Alrighty. The Suns, they lose against the Suns. They beat the Pelicans again. Wow, they faced them twice in these final 8 games. And then the Grizzlies, we are going to have them beating the Grizzlies. Alrighty. Well done for this Warriors team, finishing 6-1 in their last 7. Just losing against the Suns there. So let's add 6-1 to their record. They will finish at 39 wins and 33 losses. So they will be in the play-in tournament here, staying at number 8. Really not able to kind of move up too much here. So Warriors stay at number 8. Then we get the Grizzlies. What can they do at number 9? They've been up and down, 1 game above, 2 games below, 2 games above, 3 games above 500 all season long. Let's see how they finish out these last couple of games here. They've got the T-Wolves, the Pistons, the Raptors, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, the Kings twice, and the Warriors. 8 games left remaining. Really easy schedule. So they can beat the T-Wolves. They can beat the Pistons. They beat the Raptors. They beat the Pelicans. They beat the Mavericks. Do we have them beating the Mavericks? Yes, we do. They beat the Mavs. They beat the Kings twice. And we had the Warriors beating the Grizzlies. So we've got they lose against the Grizzlies. They lose against the Warriors. So they go 7-1 in their last 8 games. Well done for the Grizzlies. Let's add that to their final total. So they will finish at 39 and 33. Jeez Louise, just like the Warriors. So we'll see who has the game break there. And it looks like it's the Grizzlies will probably move into that 8th seed, but they're both 8 and 9. Let's see if the Spurs can do anything here at the 10th seed to move up a little bit, or just kind of stay at that number 10 seed for the play-in tournament. So let's go to San Antonio here. Alrighty, the Spurs final schedule. They got the Jazz, the Kings, the Blazers, the Bucks. Oh my goodness, the Nets, the Knicks, and the Suns twice for their last 8 games. Alrighty, so the Spurs, they lose against the Jazz. They beat the Kings. They lose against the Blazers. They lose against the Bucks. They lose against the Nets. They lose against the Knicks. They lose against the Suns twice. Jeez, so they finish. They finish 1-7 in their last 8 games. Jeez. That's going to, open. That's going to leave a place for the Pelicans or the Kings if they can get it done. So the Spurs, their final record will be 32-40. Yikes. Alrighty, Pelicans at number 11. There is opportunity here to squeeze in the play-in tournament. Let's see if they can take advantage with the remaining schedule. Alrighty, the Pelicans, they got the Warriors, the 76ers, the Hornets, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, the Warriors, the Lakers in their last 7 games. Against the Warriors, we have them beating the Pelicans. So the Pelicans lose against the Warriors. They lose against the 76ers. They beat the Hornets. The Grizzlies. They lose against the Grizzlies. The Mavericks. They beat the Mavericks. The Warriors. They lose against the Warriors again. And the Lakers. We have them losing against the Lakers. So the Pelicans finished 2-5 in their last 7. Is that enough to get them into the play-in tournament? They finish at 31 wins, 39 losses, and it is not enough here. Did I add that right? Nope. 41 losses, 31 wins and 41 losses. Not enough to dethrone the Spurs there for that 10th seed. And then finally the Kings, who will have no chance here. I don't think we have them winning any of their last games, but let's just see, just to see. Alrighty, and then the Kings, the Thunder, the Pacers, the Spurs, the Thunder 2 more times, the Grizzlies 2 more times, and the Jazz for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games left. Alrighty, so we'll give them a Thunder win. We'll give them two Thunder wins, 1 Thunder win. They faced them 3 times. We'll have them beating the Thunder. We'll have them beating the Pacers. Did we have them beating the Pacers? What do we got? Oh, we said they beat the Kings, so Pacers beat the Kings. The Spurs, they beat the Kings, so they lose against the Spurs. The Thunder will have them beating them twice, losing once. The Grizzlies beat them twice, and the Jazz beat them. So they finished 2-6 in their last 8. Add that to their total. They finished 29 and 43. 29-43. So they don't get into the play-in tournament either. We've got the Jazz. We've got the Suns at 1. The Jazz at 2. The Nuggets at 3. The Clippers at 4. The Lakers at 5. The Mavericks at 6. The Blazers at 7. The Warriors at 8. The Grizzlies at 9. The Spurs still at 10. And that is it. Pelicans, Kings do not get in the top 10. So not a lot of movement here in the Eastern Conference. Just the Wizards move to 9. Pacers fall to 10. And in the Western Conference, the Suns go to 1. The Jazz go to 2. That is all the movement that we really have here in the final remaining games here. So, unfortunately, for the Raptors, the Bulls, the Pelicans, and the Kings, you tried. It's not working out. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We are late as late can be, so we will be out of here. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow.